Today, I'm going to be making my first ever pair of pants. So, let's get started. So, whenever you are making your first ever pair of pants, you're going to want to get instructions and a pattern from the store. And you're going to cut out said pattern. But preferably not while you have a fan blowing against you, because that just makes things super uber difficult. I did it to myself. Now that you have your pieces of the pattern, you're going to cut out your fabric. I suggest doing it in the living room, where there's dog hair everywhere. Makes for a better experience.
Kaylee, I have a present for you.
What?
I have a present for you.
What is it?
Some random fabrics.
From what?
From a project that I wanted to do but ended up not doing.
Just bring it here.
Now, once your sister is done interrupting you and giving you another project to do, you're going to go back to cutting your interfacing and your denim. Now, this is when you see why planning ahead when changing the pattern is a good idea. Yes. I've made a rookie mistake. I changed the pattern a little bit because I'm doing 2 different colored legs instead of just the same colored legs. And so I didn't properly plan, I guess, how much to get. And I should have cut the big pieces first before the little pieces, and maybe I wouldn't be stuck with this problem. Now, still not knowing the actual mistake that I have made, I continue to cut out my pieces, making an even bigger problem for myself for in the future. Now, this is when I realized the mistake I actually made. I just realized that I did get enough fabric. I'm supposed to cut 2 of the legs, which means 1 in each color. So I should have only cut 1 and not 2. Let's take a moment of silence during this hard time. I'm gonna cut it out and then cut this piece and then sew those 2 together, and it'll be so noticeable, but I'd rather do that than go out and get more fabric. So I'll just forever know. Okay. So what I needed to do was cut out 2 pant legs, 1 in each color, and 4 of the other things, 2 in each color. Now I knew that, but after the whole leg debacle, I went back to cutting more pieces that I didn't need.
Why am I cutting these pieces out? I only need 2 of each. I don't even know why I do this.
Editor's note. I'm editing this scene. And right here, look at that. That is a cut. I cut out quite a few seconds of me just sitting, pondering the fact that I didn't need to cut out those pieces. And look, this one's the frame before the cut. And this is the one after. After the cut. Before, after, before, after. I cut quite a few seconds out, so you don't have to see me sitting there doing nothing, regretting my all my life choices. And I sat so still that when I played it after cutting it, it seemed like I didn't cut anything at all. But I was sitting there for quite a while. Now you get to watch me in despair, throwing away the pieces that I do not need. I'm so dumb. I'm gonna do the white side off camera so I don't keep embarrassing myself on camera. Okay, so I finished cutting out all the white pieces and that was fine. I didn't make any mistakes this time, but I did discover that where I made the mistake with the black fabric is where I'm putting a dart. So hopefully it won't be as noticeable, this stitch that I have to make to put the fabric together once the dart is there. Now before I continue on, I have the need to wear something dark. Something mysterious. Like a cape. Gosh, it disturbs me to see you, Gaston, looking so down in the dumps. Every guy here left to be you, Gaston, even when taking your lumps. There's no man in town as admired as you. Your favorite guy. And inspired by you. And it's not very hard to see why. No one's slick as Gaston. No one's quick as Gaston. Crown up as manly. Perfect up your paragon. Any Tom, Dick, or Stanley, and they'll tell you whose team they prefer to be on. Who plays hot like Gaston, and there's more than the sum of his parts like Gaston. Intimidating. I need an encouragement, like on a phone, and easy to bolster as you. No one's like Gaston. Of a field, say a prayer. Then I verbally aim for the juniper, and I shoot from behind. Is that fair? I don't care. Silly good at expectorating. When I was a lad, I ate 4 dozen eggs every morning to help me get large. Roughly the size of a barge. His brains in a tank like Gaston. I use antlers and all of my decorating. Say it again. Was a man among men. A success, don't you know? Can't you tell? Love in earth, and his name's G-A-S-T. I believe there's another T. It just occurred to me that I'm illiterate and I've never actually had to spell it out loud before. Gaston. Boom, boom. It just hits in silence, 'cause got something much. fix me in a corner. Except I did it to myself. Perfect. Now I can work on my jeans. No, I'm not wearing completely different clothes. It's not the next day. It's not.
Now I'm finally getting to sewing together the pant leg mishap that I did. So this is when the fear that I didn't cut out the right pieces for the front and the back pant leg so the colors wouldn't match up. But I just continued on, didn't really worry about that, and I was going to wait and see if I actually made that mistake.
What? I think I did that. I don't know what I'm doing. I might just be a slight bit confused. Just slightly confused. What I love most about rivers is you can't step in the same river twice. Water's always changing, always flowing. But people, I guess, can't live like that. We all must pay a price. Do we safely lose our chance of ever knowing? Do I even understand English anymore? Do I even English? This doesn't help. The internet has nothing.
So the instructions were super confusing and seemed to miss some parts, so I looked online to see if there were any video walkthroughs or just clearer instructions for these one pants, but obviously I could not find anything.
I think I finally figured out. So there's dots on here that make it seem like the pleats should have been like this, but I think I'm supposed to bring these two edges together. So I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Now the reason the instructions were so unclear to me was because all it said to do was add pleats, which I had to do vertically and horizontally. So I thought I had to do them horizontally, and I did have to do them horizontally, but I also had to do them vertically, which wasn't clear in the instructions.
Now to do the same thing to the other side of the pants. The thing with working with two different colored fabrics is that when you have to switch back and forth, you have to switch back and forth between the colored thread too. It's like winding up a yo-yo. I hated starting to wind yo-yos because every time I do it, I'd grab it and then the base of the string would just keep rolling around. So then you'd kind of have to do it loose and not tight, but then it bothered me because the base of it was loose. I cared too much about that. It was just a yo-yo, but you know, ow. I bet your biggest question right now is why I'm doing this on the floor. And it's because like everywhere that I've been sewing, there's not enough room on the desk to put a sewing machine and the amount of fabric that I do on so it's just like so much more spacious on the floor. But I'm always hunched over, so by the end I'm like, you know, I'm kind of just talking to myself. I'm talking to a camera obviously, but everyone's out right now, so it's not as awkward, but I know that my family should be home soon, and I'm scared that I'm just gonna be talking to myself and they're gonna walk in and I'm not gonna know because I can't hear anything. This isn't the first time that I've made a video, but it's like, it's still awkward. I could track them to see where they are, but I'm filming on my phone, and that's where I track them. Do I stop filming to check? I could. That reminds me, when I lived in an apartment with my roommates, one of my roommates worked at a school
kind of like a TA, sort of, a para. And she'd always come home at the same time. So I was just in my room singing to myself. I had a bottle and I was like acting like it was a microphone, dancing around. And normally when I would do that, I would close my door so it wouldn't be as awkward. But my door was open and I kept checking the time. I'm like, she's gonna be home in like 30 minutes, so I don't have to worry. She came home early that day, walked into my room while I wasn't paying attention, and I'm just singing. I turn around and she scared the living daylights out of me. Wasn't very nice of her. But I was so embarrassed. I feel like I would have been less embarrassed if I was like dancing around and singing if I didn't have the thing as a microphone. But I did, and I think that just made it so much worse. I still think about that, and it happened over a year, like a year and a half ago, and I still think about it a lot. I forgot to start recording again, but on the pant and on the back I did another dart, and I'm going to be connecting the front and the back. Now I just got to do the same thing to the black side. Finish the black side. The hope that I had that this pleat would cover the fact that I messed up here did not come true. But the fear that I had that the colors would not match up from front to back also did not come true. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. Moving on.
So this is where I combine the two pant legs by the crotch seam, but this took forever because I didn't know what I was doing, and once again, the instructions were so unclear. I'm starting to think that it's a me problem.
I'm not holding it right. Baby with a new romantic. Time to add the pockets.
So adding the pockets ended up going fine. I did put the black ones on backwards, as you can see me ripping the seam apart. But yeah, it was fine. I also learned for the first time what understitching was, which is very helpful. Now, dealing with fabric that frays a lot, you get pieces that get everywhere. So I decided to vacuum a little bit so I didn't have to deal with so much string on my socks and my clothes.
So my phone died, and I was hoping that I didn't miss that much, but when I charged it, turns out I did miss a lot. So I finished the pocket, and then I ended up sewing the side, and then doing a back stitch so that this would lay flat on the inside so it would be more comfortable. And then after I did that, I did the whole entire white side too. So now basically all I have left is the waistband and hem. It is once again the next day. I didn't want to iron the interfacing, but tomorrow's problem is now today, and so I must do that. So I learned a lot of things while making these pants, like how iron-on interfacing does not stick to denim, so it's only sticking to the embroidery. So I had to sew it instead of ironing it, so I just wasted a whole bunch of time.
Hello.
Now it's time to spend an ungodly amount of time trying to figure out how this waistband works. During this time period, I messed up the white side, had to cut out more without the interfacing because I didn't have any more interfacing, which then I threw away with all the scraps, so I had to make another one again. It's annoying because my phone keeps either running out of storage or dying, but I finished the black side. I'm not gonna do the white one on camera because it's a lot to deal with and worry about. I finished both parts of the waistband and it's time to connect them together. As you can see, it's once again the next day. After spending so long trying to figure out that waistband, I was really tired, so I went to bed. So I waited until the next day to connect the two pieces together. Connected. Now, I know the camera is at a weird angle, but I swear that now I am connecting the waistband to the waistline of the pants that I've already made.
How's it going?
I added the waistband and now I'm adding the zipper, and then after that all I'll have to add is the buttons. Well, I might add back pockets.
Oh. So one leg B's, one leg flat. Learning a little bit more each time.
Finished doing the buttons. Woo-hoo.
Gonna try to make some pockets.
As you can see, I was successful in making those pockets. First pocket and hem done. Obviously, I don't know how to pose to show off these pants. I don't know why I'm so awkward. It's just how I am. So here are the finished pants, and I'm just so glad to be done with them because these were a pain to make. Stripes. Look at that, they cross over. And look, you got the sunflower one and the B button. Very nice. Added the pockets on the back. I was gonna do opposites. I was gonna do opposites for the pockets, but I forgot to do that. But I'm done now, so I don't want to go back and do it.